Finally think I didn't mess up starting to record. You know what time it is. Hey everybody, it's Friday, and welcome back to Quarantine Edition of Crit Day. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about creativity, experimenting, and not letting our creative processes suffer being stuck inside during these crazy times. So, I'd like to begin by talking about a hindrance of creativity, and that is a story from school. So, over a period of 2 or 3 years in school, I really spent a lot of time building and developing a style. I won some grants, so I spent even whole summers after whole years working on very illustrative stuff, some sculptural stuff, but it was all based around kind of the same thing. And while I think it was successful and I enjoyed it, coming to the end of my time in college, I really wanted to do something new. I had a feeling that what I was doing wasn't going to thrive outside of the college world, and it wasn't a lack of faith in myself. It was just that I'd pushed the work as far as it could go, and I'd done that all during my school time. So pushing it any further wasn't really going to benefit me. But the problem was that for probably my last year, especially my last semester, anytime that I made something particularly out of my style, basically the whole crit was, oh, this isn't your style. And it was really hard. I found myself struggling to please people. I just did what I thought people wanted to see. And not that I didn't like the work, but it's just that I wanted a new direction. But what ended up happening was I got out of school and I just didn't have the drive to make. I didn't have the facilities to make what I was making anymore. I felt that that style had been so ingrained in me over the past few years that doing anything different would be starting from scratch. And it was, but I don't know. I just didn't have a creative drive for a while. But one of the easy things about being an unknown artist and just leaving art school is when you think about restarting, nobody knows about the old work, really. So I kind of was like, it's not like anybody's going to be upset if you're not doing the whatever work anymore. Um, so I took a long period and I kind of retaught myself how to draw. I had a roommate who had a collection of figure drawing books, anatomy books, and I would just flip through those and late at night just draw bones and muscles and the human form. I'd always loved figure drawing in school, but my program didn't particularly have excellent options for it. There was a cool group of retirees who would rent out a space in one of our buildings, and it was free for students to go, but not many students knew. So I was one of the few students who did go to that, and I had a lot of fun doing that. But I found myself diving into the figure drawing role, and then I started doing my more illustrative work again. I that my interest in that kind of got reinvigorated, and then my interest in that kind of faded. I did some commission work. Had a really bad experience with doing a commission piece, which kind of just soured me in general for a little while. Um, and then I was kind of stuck for a little bit. And then recently, what I've been doing is I got a 8 foot, I think it's 8 foot roll of canvas, and I mean 8 foot and probably like this big around. It barely fits in my basement, and I got that for free. And the cheap person in me was like, well, I don't want to have to buy wood and stretch all of this canvas. It's going to be a pain in the ass to have to prime it anyway. So I thought, what about unstretched canvas? And that began my current endeavor. And I've done a couple different series of work on that. It's been exciting. I'll flash through some images of that stuff over here. Wow, Forrest, that stuff's really good. But then the quarantine struck. Strange beeping from somewhere. But once the quarantine stuck, I was moving in a new direction with my work, but suddenly not being able to leave and really experience the world and being stuck inside most of the time, I found my creativity stunted a little bit. And it wasn't just me. I was seeing a lot of artists talk about this and the sort of strain on your mental health and not being able to experience the world. Artists who use models and stuff can't even do that. So it was kind of this weird balance, because as artists, we have the luxury of always being able to practice. It's not that we're essential work, but our practice doesn't have to be anywhere but our home. Even if you have a studio, you can downsize it and work from home if you have to. But on the other end, so much of art is inspired by experiencing life. And if you can't really experience new things, then your creative practice will suffer. And I'm noticing this a lot from the students that I know. And I mean, how could you not have a at least minor hit on your creativity when you're in art school, you're in this awesome put together group of creatives that you're not forced, but constantly around, so you just always interact with. It's something that students take for granted. I know I did. But now art school is online, so the student to student, the student to professor dynamic has totally changed. And as I said, for everybody, it takes a toll on your mental health, but it takes a toll on your creative process as well. What I wanted to talk about was basically that we need to take this time and make the best of a bad situation. And we need to really push our creative practice. Challenge yourself. This is an open call to artists to push what you do. And if you're spending every day doing what you usually do, and you're thriving and you're fine and you're really enjoying all of the home time and being able to do what you're doing, then awesome. Keep doing that. But some people are really fucking struggling. So I want to challenge everyone to find something new. For example, my new challenge has been drawing the human form again, and specifically skeletons. I found a cool app, and you can check this out. It is called Kineman, something like that, Kineman. It's just a web app, and it's got a free version, and it's a 3D skeleton model that you can manipulate and pose. And I've been doing a series of paintings with that, and it's been a lot of fun. It's different for me for a variety of reasons.
Try spelling it.
Apparently Apple is listening because my Siri was going for no fucking reason. Obviously, just because skeletons are hard. I tend to work particularly fast, so when just the base drawing for a painting takes me 2 or 3 days, then it's an exciting challenge. But I'm also forced to work smaller. I tend to work large. I do a lot of work with the human form, but specific body parts, hands, eyes, shit like that. So I really wanted to fit in the whole skeleton. So I've had to compress my work a little bit, and doing the fine brushwork is something that I haven't done in ages. But yeah, my goal of today was just to, I don't know, rant a little bit about times that I've felt stuck and tell you that it happens to all of us. And we as artists need to find new ways to challenge ourselves, especially young artists. You might think that you have a style or your work is this or your work is that, but you're young and you've got a lot of time to develop and grow, so you're only hurting yourself if you're not trying other things. Yeah, stick with your style, do what you want, but every now and then, break, experiment, do something different. I had a friend ask me just the other day what they should draw because they were trying to do new things, and I sent them quickposes.com, which is one of my favorite reference sites for figure drawing, and they were like, I suck at drawing people. And I was like, you're stuck inside, man. take this time and try to get better at it. And I was like, they've got faces, hands, all sorts of shit. Figure something out. I know people who have started new things altogether. My girlfriend ordered a bunch of clay and has been making jewelry in clay. I mean, this is a time where we've got an immense amount of downtime on our hands, and we could very easily waste it by burning through the back of our skulls watching TV, YouTube videos, and looking at our phones. While I have to promote those things a little bit because that's where I'm at, take some time off. Don't just waste your whole day scrolling through Instagram or scrolling through Facebook or watching YouTube video after YouTube video. Even if you're not a creative person, try something. Get a marker and a piece of paper and try drawing. I feel like so many people find their creative craft later in life by just stumbling upon it or trying something that they've always wanted to do and having a hand for it. Don't waste this time. It's a shitty situation, but we can make the best of it, and we as artists should be the ones who are thriving the most right now. Maybe not monetarily, but creatively. Push your craft. Do something different. Do something new. Push yourself. Be new. Be better. We both know you want to sponsor me, Liquid Death. Well, anyways, thank you for joining me for another episode of Quarantine Crit Day. These have been a lot of fun to do, and while I admit I'm kind of running out of shit to talk about, I'm going to keep doing them, and I'm going to fight through it. Some of them might be a little goofy, some of them might be a little bit shorter, but I'm going to try to keep them around the 10-minute mark. You can follow me at Forrest Hines Art. You can go to the home of all things Plebeian at www.plebeian.us. That's where all the content is at. That is where today's new feature with young artist Rachel Vince is out. That's a cool one. Great to get a student perspective, especially with what I'm talking about in this video. That's where the Plebeian podcast is held. That's where the new podcast to the Plebeian family, River of Consciousness, is held. You can follow Plebeian on both of our Instagrams at @plebeian_us and @plebeian.mag. You can follow on Facebook, Plebeian Inc. You can follow on Twitter, Plebeian Deli. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube for all sorts of content like this, like podcast highlights, like video interviews. We've got stuff for everybody, for your eyes, for your ears. Engage with us. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if there's anything that you think I should talk about. And hopefully, I'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.